planet Saturn is one of the most beautiful jewels in the night sky. It's a gas giant, and it's the second biggest planet in our solar system. I'm going to draw Saturn and help you understand a few key things about it. So this is a listen, learn and draw activity for Science Week 2020. To begin drawing Saturn, you're going to use an old CD or a DVD for the planet body, draw a circle around it, and then introduce two little hill shapes on each side of the disc. I'm putting one in here on the left hand side, and you're going to do your best to get these shapes similar to each other as much as you can. You notice that they begin just below the top of the disc and finish just below the end of the disc. Next, we're drawing an oval shape completely around the disc and the two little hills that you've already drawn. And we're reinforcing all the lines by going over them again so you have it clear for yourself. Then we start to fill in the shapes on the left and right of the disc in black pastel. We make those hill shapes as even as we can. Using your finger helps spread the pastel round. The shapes will become the gap between the planet and the rings. And when we lift the disc, you will see a circle on top of a black oval surrounded by a larger oval. Your drawing has a great start. You can add a short white line to the edge of the black area just to start the rings of Saturn. It's always a good idea to work on different parts of a drawing as it develops. So let's jump right into the main body of the planet just to keep it interesting. We will use some pink, blue, cream, lemon, maybe a little bit of yellow to show the different bands of colour in the gas atmosphere of Saturn. Keep those bands curved as it helps create the look of a sphere in space, surrounded by rings. Saturn is basically a huge ball of gas surrounded by countless thousands of ice particles. Some of them are really tiny, like a grain of rice, and some of them would be several meters high, wide and thick. The planet body is made mostly of hydrogen and some helium and other gases. Saturn has super fast winds in its upper atmosphere. These winds can reach speeds of up to 1,800 kilometers per hour. This would be down around the equator, a lot faster than Earth's winds. At the North Pole of Saturn, the cloud system actually forms an enormous hexagon. It was discovered by the Voyager mission in 1981 and then visited again by the Cassini spacecraft in 2006. Saturn is over 1 billion kilometers away from Earth, yet we can see it with our eyes in the night sky. Its rings are magnificent. A small telescope will help you see them clearly. Because the planet is made of gas, we cannot actually land on it, but what we can do is take it from the blackness of space and draw it on our small page. Drawing gives us the opportunity to absorb learning. Now it's time to start adding the rings around the planet. Use a small piece of white pastel and start just below the top of the planet. Bring the white line around the black areas and try to do it in one movement. We will add slightly to the width of the rings. Add an entire ring around the white ring. You can use a little bit of grey or white if you don't have any grey. Bring a small bit over the top of the planet to complete this stage. Saturn's rings are 400 5,000 kilometers wide. When you think of it, that's the same distance between the Earth and the Moon. Next, we're going to add a black line in the rings, which is actually a gap in the rings called the Cassini Division. To help us do it, we will put little tiny marks all along near the edge of the rings. See that? Just little small black marks. And then we will join them all together. See? If you go along and join them together like that, you'll get a nice even line, which is the Cassini division. You can go over the line again just to make it a little bit thicker and a little more even. This black line is called the Cassini division. It is named after Jean-Dominique Cassini, who discovered this gap in the rings in 1675. The Cassini division is about the same width as the distance between Ireland and New York, which is 5,000 kilometers. Now I'm adding a few extra white lines in the rings to give the look of movement. To finish the main body of the planet, we're going to tone down the colour a bit. Saturn is a similar colour to butter. So you take a piece of cream or yellow or something similar to that, whichever you have. Now it's important that you use a light touch, just a little bit over the planet like this. You are trying to give the planet a natural look, but you're also trying to let a little of the coloured bands remain visible. When you have finished your drawing, then notate it. Saturn, the gas giant, rings of ice, the Cassini division, and maybe something else that you learned that you liked about the planet. I'm looking forward to seeing your work. My drawing was inspired by a very recent image taken from Earth through a telescope. This is what Saturn looks like during Science Week 2020.